don't want to miss this moment where he's coming right in front of me. He's walking. I mean, his chair is moving so close, and there was a point where he was right in front of me. I could literally lift my finger and touch him, but my hands were trembling, my feet were trembling. I couldn't even process what was going on.
Sairam, dear listeners, welcome to Sai SOUL 100. Our guest today is Sister Mamtha Sivan Kameswaran, who is joining us from Devon, Pennsylvania. She attends the Sri Sathya Sai Center of Cherry Hill in New Jersey. Sairam, Sister Mamtha, thank you for joining Sai SOUL 100.
Sairam, sister, thank you for having me.
Sairam, please share your story.
I would like to start from the time when we were in middle school. I grew up in the Middle East, in Kuwait, and back in those days, maybe it was the 1990s. There was nothing called like a temple or other religion places where we could go to. So every Indian family tried to connect and send their kids there so that they could have some sort of influence of our culture in those kids who are growing there. And slowly, when that started, then we found out that they are doing bhajans in someone's house. So we didn't know anything about Sai Baba or anything. Then when we saw his picture, and we thought maybe it's some saint or somebody. Slowly, after we were starting to go continuously to that auntie's house for bhajan, we started noticing flowers falling down from the pictures. Later on, we realized that it is more than not just placing properly. There is more meaning to it. Somehow, my mother just decided to bring a picture home, and we had a picture in the house of Satya Sai Baba. And we have never met him. No one knows anything about him. But that picture used to draw my attention so much because it was like your own conscience there. So anything I would do wrong as a kid, I would just like turn around, look at that picture. It's okay. No one is watching. I didn't know that much, but there are kids who work hard and get in their 90s, and Baba would say you have to work more hard. But there are kids who work so hard and get their 60s and says very good. So I belong to the second category, by the way, just to make it clear. So I worked really hard, and I didn't understand why I couldn't get, but I was a little worried about that. The exams were coming. So, and then I looked at that picture and said, please, if help me out. I just need some kind of confidence, or I'm trying to do my best, but my marks are not going up. I don't know why, but now I realize whatever we studied is just bookish knowledge. There's so much more to learn that anyway. But coming back to the point, and later, just close to that exam time, we had some guests come over to our house. And when they came in, they were like, hi, how are you? What are you doing? And recently we just came back from Puttaparthi, and I wanted to give you something. And normally, if anyone gives anything, they would give it to the wife or the mother of the house or somebody. That person came and straight gave me this pen, and it had Baba's picture. So I was like, okay, so now going back, it's reflecting like, oh my God, that was his sign. But back then, I didn't even think of all these little things that happened. So, but I was like, oh, thank you so much, uncle. And I put it in my purse. I carried it for all my exams. I cleared them well. I did, according to me, I think I did a good job. But so anyway, that was my first experience, I would say. But this this thought came to me only later on in life when I was going back and reflecting. So back then, I didn't even think it was a big deal. But for me personally, it was. We reached to a time where schooling was over. We have to leave the country, go back home. And uh, it was a very hard time to digest that, because our whole life we've been there, and then we are going to wind up and come back to India. So it was a big deal. So once we came back to India, trying to settle down, everything was like up and down, especially for my mom, um, because she started facing so many emotional trauma. She would rake the garden, and that's where she would show her emotions to herself. She didn't share it with anyone. Suddenly, once she pulled the rake and she saw something stuck to it, and when she uh, pulled the rake up to see what it is, it was a huge Baba's pendant with his picture on one side and Om on the other side. So that was one assurance from Swami. When we came, my parents had bought, back then, Tata Sumo was the new car that in India that they got. And since they both were home alone, they decided, let's go for a ride to Puttaparthi. And they went to Puttaparthi. It was, I think, 98, yes, during that time. And they stayed there for a week to do seva. And then on the way back, they started the car to leave from Puttaparthi. Suddenly, boys in white and white came, stop, 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 stop the car, Sairam, Sairam, Sairam. And then before they could even think or process what's going on, they found out this huge Ganesh statue packed up so beautifully, and they put it in the back seat of they themselves loaded it in the back and said, this is going to Sai Ananda Nilayam in Madurai, so you're taking it over there. And it was more than a request, it was more like a command that they felt. From what my parents told me, I could literally feel it. So they said, this is the address, you're going straight there. And it felt like our first passenger for that new car was Ganesha, all the way from Puttaparthi to Madurai. So even I didn't know this story, so when I go back India, I want to see that Ganesha installed there. And I believe Baba had come there for that inauguration once the mandir was done personally, and to visit that place. So this was something which I found out recently from my parents. And then that was a really good experience for them. My dad had this, I'm going to talk about this habit that he's had for a very, very long time, even before he got married. He's a, you could say, not a chain smoker, but he would smoke a lot. You could say every day he has to smoke. And we've had issues. My mom has had issues for a very long time, from the day she was married, and even as a kid, I remember them arguing a lot about it, but nothing happened, nothing changed. So there was a time where they both again, I think we were sent to hostels just for them to reflect and to learn and go through their own journey with Swami. So they decided to go to Puttaparthi for a month of seva. And they went there. And during that time, my dad's seva from day one, as they were there, was to stand at the men's side, check everyone's pocket, and to pull out any BD cigarettes or any kind of smoke that they had, and put it in the side. That was his seva. So from day one, morning he would check pockets, he put a huge pile, and then take it and throw it in the dustbin. Again, afternoon, same seva. Evening, same seva. This continued for a whole month, non-stop. And by the time they were done and they decided to go back home, they packed up everything except cigarettes for my father. And he was, the minute if you said the word cigarette or even talked, you could see the hate, the frustration, like, don't even say that word. So coming fast forward a little bit, when myself, my sister, and my mom, we three were looking around for colleges for myself, we ended up coming to Pune. And once we reached Pune, she found out that Shirdi is close by. So the same agent what brought us to Pune, she booked it through a travel agent to see if we can go Shirdi. And People normally, when they come down, first thing is they get the ticket to go in. We didn't know anything about it. So once we saw this huge line standing to go in, and there is no way we can just walk in and see Shirdi and come out. And my mom was thinking, oh, maybe we are not lucky enough to see Shirdi. And we were just standing there. Suddenly, from one corner, there's this lady. She's like, how many of you are there? We said three. Come quickly in this line. And by the time we realized, when we were in the line, she had 3 VIP passes. And she said, this is for you. Take, come and join with me. When we entered in, we were so close to Shirdi. We were there for nearly an hour. They did arti, they did the darshan, they changed the clothes. I mean, it was beautiful staying the whole time. And that was the first time I was listening to Shirdi, but it was beautiful staying there. The energy, everything, we were just like, still trying to process how are we even here without even doing anything. So literally we had seen everything that we had to see, do what we had to do, and come to the same spot without even knowing how we went there, without even having a guiding person or showing us the way. So that was part one of the journey with Shirdi Sai with my mom. And then 2009, my dad, myself, and a few friends of his, and there were some people from Japan who had come with us to visit Kodaikanal, because they found out Swami is going to come there. So they decided to join us, and we went over there. At this point of our life, we had access to VIP passes, which means, so we had family relatives who could provide us that pass, which would take us directly to Swami. So we took all the passes that we could, went straight to Kodaikanal. We were there, supposed to be there for 5 days. So the first day, early morning, when we went to the Sevadel, she says, you're not allowed to go in. But I said, I have this pass. No, you can't still go. You just have to stay. I'm trying to explain who I know, what the people I know. None of that was helping. So truly, I was so mad at the Sevadal, like, how can she not let me in? And even though I have this, but anyway, I thought some people are like that, forget it. We still have 5 more days, remaining 4 more days are there. So we can still go in. That was my intention. And second day, same thing happened. So we were all the way in the back. We couldn't see Swami. It was like he went through a different direction and went there. Just a tiny bit of hair we could see because he was on the wheelchair. The third day, I was a little more mad because it didn't happen. So only 3 more days left. What are we going to do? I wrote a letter. I was like, Baba, what is this? All my feelings out. I poured it out. And I was like, you have to see us. So, we've come all this way. And whatever I was thinking, I just don't know what I wrote in there. I just wrote it down and had that letter in hand. Again, same thing happened. The third day, they didn't let us in. But I thought, I still have this letter. Let us see what happens. This time, so we were somewhere in the middle, but still we could see him go all the way. There were like maybe 15 rows in front of us. We passed the letter, like, please pass it on. And I could see the letter moving forward. Finally, it went to a pile of letters, and Baba took that pile. I was like, so, which means if he takes it, he's definitely going to see us. So this happened the third day. Fourth day, I was really, when I woke up, I don't know what I was thinking. I left that VIP pass on the table, and I'm like, I'm going to go in without the VIP pass. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to say anything about it. If you want to see me, you will see me. And I just stood in the same line, the same Sevadals. Then they put me through the line. I got some random number. Suddenly, I found myself in the front row. And I don't want to miss this moment where he's coming right in front of me. He's walking, I mean, his chair is moving so close, and there was a point where he was right in front of me. I could literally lift my finger and touch him, but my hands were trembling, my feet were trembling. I couldn't even process what was going on, but I didn't want to miss that moment. So whatever I had in my hand, like I had some japamala, I just lifted it up, and he put his hand and blessed on it. And he looked at me, and I was like, uh, the minute that it was right in here, and when he was just moving slowly, tears were just like flowing like crazy. And uncontrollable, and I couldn't understand what was that yearning of why I didn't touch him, or why I didn't touch his feet. He was right here. But I feel like if I had touched his feet, I would have had that achievement that I already did it. This was the fourth day that I had this experience. The fifth day, again, I was just like thinking of him sitting with me, and that moment keeps on repeating like nonstop. You go play, rewind, fast forward, play. It was like a cycle going on and on and on. So on fifth day, I was still in that mindset, and then I didn't say anything. And this time, rather than sitting outside, the shuffle took me to a place. It was an inside chamber where not many people could sit, and I was sitting way in the front, where I Saukar Janaki, I think she is one of Swami's really good devotee, and a celebrity back in those days. So she was sitting closer to me, right in front, Baba right there, and he was giving a discourse. That 1 hour of his discourse, it was so beautiful. That experience was just like stuck in me so much. And then I came out quietly. We had lunch. The minute we had lunch and we walked out, uh, we heard like Swami's car, Swami's car, the person who was with us. Then we saw his car, and then boys standing on outside, hanging on both the sides like railing. All of us jumped in the car and we started following Swami's car. So we were right behind Baba's car, and he took us to a beautiful location around, like it was not the city area where it was crowded. It was such a calming place. And then I could see his hair the whole time, and we were so happy. He smiled and blessed all of us in the car. So it was a blessing for everyone who had come with us that day. I don't know how this one person can you know manage the whole world, uh, and make everything perfect, but that journey was a wonderful journey for us. He was in my life way before we even saw each other, through that picture which was in my house. So that was the thought that I got from both these, you know, divine avatars at the same time. One with my mom, with Shirdi Sai, and one with my dad, with Satya Sai.
Sairam sister, thank you so much for sharing this beautiful, beautiful stories of both your mother and father, journey with your mother and father, as well as their own journey to Swami, with your mother going to Shirdi and getting that VIP pass when you didn't even realize you needed it. And then your VIP pass that you had when you went to Kodaikanal with your father, and to find out that you actually don't need a VIP pass because Swami knows the heart of the people. And that was a powerful lesson that Swami had taught you. And I think that's lingering even till now, that message that he had shared with you. And very, very blessed stories here for us to take on. And thank you for being here and sharing your story. Sairam, dear listeners, thank you for listening to Sai Soul 100 with Sister Mamtha Sivan Kameswaran.
Sairam.
I'm Prabha Swaminathan. Until next time, Jai Sairam.